Hey everybody, this is Charlie Young, and
This is Emmy Mendieta Cordova.
yes, so I'm really excited for the last two episodes of Behind the Music Video. I have got the amazing Emmy here with me to break down our music videos. So this is WERK. This is the last episode of the series. So what better way to end it than with the director, co-director? I guess we co-directed this one, right? So the
Yeah.
co-director and the cinematographer, the editor, and just the my filmmaking partner extraordinaire. So, anyway,
Yes.
thank you so much for tuning into the series. I hope you really have enjoyed last week with Emilia and finishing up this week with Emilia. So, without further ado, let's go into it.
hmm Oh, I have a funny story about these slow motion ones.
What about the slow motion?
So I have a funny story actually.
Okay,
So
go for
what?
it.
For work, it was the first time I was actually able to properly camera prep. And so by that I mean like we usually rent our cameras and our lenses through our awesome partners at BCine. And because I used to live in Sacramento, I would just kind of have to order or quote from Sacramento and just come in and like do a quick prep during pickups. But I didn't know what lenses I really wanted to use for this one, and I had a couple of choices. So I called them up and I was like, "Hey, can I come in and test the lenses?" And they were like, "Yes, absolutely. Come in, test them, see which ones you want to use." So I had three lens sets, and in addition to testing which lens sets we were going to use, I also wanted to test like the slow motion capabilities of the camera itself because um, when you do slow motion of these cameras, you actually have to drop the resolution. So I wanted to make sure it looked good, that there wasn't any crazy strobing or anything like that. And I'd done tests on this camera before, but it's always good to just test again. So the easiest way to test these things is to kind of do a hair flip on camera, right? And I'm there testing by myself and doing hair flips, and I'm very camera conscious. And one of the tech preps comes in as mid hair flip and goes like, "Work it, Emmy," and I'm like, "Oh god."
I didn't even know the story until you're telling like us right now. That's hilarious.
Yeah. So they were really sweet about it, but I was so mortified.
Yeah, Emmy, for those of you, this is really huge to have her on here because excuse me, Emilia, I don't know. Sorry.
Fine. That's fine.
Emmy is an introvert, so this is really exciting, and like so that's what made the I guess the hair flip even more mortifying for you because you're already like
Yeah.
not comfortable.
Yeah, I was like already mortified to be doing it by myself in a prep bay, and the tech walk in on it. It was just like, oh god.
Yeah,
So uh props to the techs at B City for being cool about me being weird. I wasn't being weird, but also
I'm worse things. So, but yeah,
yeah.
I really like the slow motion. I think it's a really great way to start. And really funny thing is whenever we were going through the cuts of this, I told Amelia that I wanted like a really fierce like opening. Remember, like we switched. We
Mhm.
actually the order of the slow mo shots we actually reversed. So
Yes, we
the
did.
order. So cool. All right, let's keep rolling, shall we? All right.
I really love this shot.
Oh yeah, which one?
The one where it's just like when you go far and then like you put up the hand and I did a little push in.
Yes.
Because a lot of those were kind of they're not happenstance in the sense that like they weren't designed. It's just that a lot of it was finding those like really synergetic moves as we were moving with the camera with you, and that moment is just so great because it just really punches that beat in a really beautiful way. And I'm just like, I don't know, I love that shot.
Yeah, even though like so here's the thing about Emmy, you guys, is that even though she is a cinematographer, that's her specialty, I would say, right? With that is that act.
Yeah.
So she's also a brilliant editor. And so the way she took, because people were like, oh, where'd you do your choreography? And I'm like, me, like, I choreographed it. But
Yeah.
also, it's like what Meryl Streep says, right? Who's also a Vassar alumna like us, is you've got to thank your editor for your performances. So whenever you're giving your speech for your award, it's really your editor that can make you, make you look great or make you
Yeah.
suck. So if you'll notice, there's a lot of shots that Emilia has here that are like bridges, like right, they pick up where the other shot has just left off, which I love. So and
Yeah.
I love it how I always stop it on like a really look at I
Yeah, it's a
feel
weird frame.
like this is not the first time this has happened. So anyway,
Yeah, to
yeah,
clarify, those are called, match cuts or matches on
cool.
action, so I'm cutting on, like, similar actions or on action, so makes something look fluid. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I couldn't think of the thing. So like I like not to be whatever, but like I had a migraine a couple hours ago, so like my so I'm kind of like I'm better now, but like I don't know. I just my brain is still kind of coming back to life. So I'm
Yeah.
like words. I know words.
Yeah, yeah.
I know how to say, things. So anyway, let's keep going. I just love that face. I feel like this is my face whenever people say something that's like really like offensive or stupid to me. I feel like this
You
was
should just make it a meme, just or a GIF, just make it a GIF. Do
I
it.
don't know how I made that face. Okay.
You sometimes, I mean, it's one of those things, I mean this in the most loving way, sometimes you make weird faces,
That's fine.
but it's
It's
good.
fine.
I
It's
think it's just like yeah, but in a good way. I love your weird faces.
fine. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I need to give credit where credit's due on those mirror shots. One of those mirror shots, like I had a very specific aesthetic, visual language in mind for this, and originally I want to have everything when we're doing on that mirror set really static, and then everything when we were in our psych with the color lights moving, completely moving. But Aaron, I'm gonna share big shout out to Aaron, who we were
Our
on
our diversity hire.
our diversity hire, my gaffer.
He's the only male
He
on set. That's why he's up.
Yes, he is always the only male on set. We love him. He was look. I was prepping this last shot, and he was looking. He was standing next to me, and he was like, "Actually, do you want the slider for this?" And I was like, "No, I don't really want the slider for this." He's like, "No, you want the slider for this." And I was like, "Do I want the slider for this?" He's like, "Trust me, you want the slider for this. It'll take me like 2 minutes to set up." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I bring the slider for it." Like, whatever.
Like, I think you were also like, if I remember right, like we were all just kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Just kind of like frenzied in a way, because I believe weren't we like
Yeah.
an hour behind because
We were an hour behind because that location, there was a miscommunication for the location, and they told us to show up on one place. They had multiple location like studios, and they told us to show up on one studio, and then it turns out it was another studio like 20 minutes away. And even though it's 20 minutes away, between like, losing those 20 minutes to get there and like get unload, it's just like
yeah.
we ended up losing about 45 minutes. And we were running a little bit behind. So we were a little bit frenzied, and like I was trying to just like get out of that space. So a little stressful, but I just needed that one kind of close up. And then like, yeah, Aaron was like, no, you want the slider on this. And then I was like, okay. And put up the slider and put up the camera, and I was like, "Oh, I see why I wanted the slider." I know.
And all I'll say about my part in that is that that box was hot, like hotter than hell, and
Yeah.
I had rented like a floor drying fan from Home Depot, and Aaron and my mom had built like this tower of like plastic lawn chairs, like
Yeah.
because it was almost like a garage, like a warehouse kind of garage
Yeah.
where this set was, and they had built it like near the door of the garage and the tower, and in between takes, I would like literally go over there and just like sit under the fan because I was so
Yeah,
wet.
'cause it would only work at a certain angle.
Yeah,
Like, that fan would only work at a certain it was really weird.
auto shut off if you changed it. Yeah, but
Yeah,
that was hot, literally.
it was so hot, and it was dirty. It was really
Oh yeah,
dirty.
it was yeah, yeah. But hey, we got
But, yeah.
shots.
But, yeah, Aaron, I will credit Aaron for that really cool shot of, like, the slider with the mirror. You'll see more of the effects on that a little bit later, but, yeah. So, thank you, Aaron. We appreciate you.
For now, until you
For
do
now.
something. See you on the next one. All right, here we go.
These mirror shots, like that kind of weird movement, like with the little bit of slider, how that reflection just morphs and changes and like gives you some really weird reflections, which I think was going along with the theme that we explore both in this music video and just in general and a lot of the stuff we do, which is like I think could be described as like parallel identities of parallel worlds. What?
I said people of the parallel.
People of the parallel, yes. Even our collaborator is.
I shout out to Justin. Sorry, I had
Yes. Shout out to Justin.
The door, and I had to like walk in. So
yeah.
Anyway,
yes.
what were you gonna say before I was being stupid?
Oh no, yeah, no. I just think the mirror. Like we had a lot of themes of like mirrors and reflections in this one in particular, because like even your costumes have a lot of mirrors and reflect in them. So just the ability to play with a mirror in that really weird cool way, I mean, I thought that was just a great addition, and I think just added a lot, but because I think we play a lot of with parallel identities, parallel mirrored identities, like duality in a human, and I think this just we went really literal this music video actually.
Well, I think you're totally right, because I think as an artist, my music a lot of times is about duality, like the light and the dark, the compare, the contrast, the two sides, right? I mean, even if we go back to 2019 with Hold the Moon, I mean, you've got future me meeting present me. It's that duality, and we even had 2 music videos for that song, and there were 2 versions of that song. So So absolutely. And also, just because you mentioned it, I've had a lot of people ask me about the costumes. Those are all from Etsy, from independent designers, because Emilia and I, as independent artists and as, female artists and everything, we want to support, other independent artists. And I believe at least, if not all of them, at least I do know that where this outfit is that I have on screen right now, that is actually a female-owned business on Etsy, and I'm a brand affiliate with Etsy, which again is a whole marketplace for independent artisans. If you've never been there, go check it out. So anyway, all right, shall we keep rolling?
One more thing on the parallel stuff, like we also have that in the lighting, like the contrast between like we always have young complementary colors in lighting when you go colorful. So
right. Like purpley blue and warm and red.
Purple and blue, and then we reversed it. So we had it like kind of pink and blue on one side, and then we reversed it on other takes in which we have you in yellow purple. So it was
Well, I need to watch my video closer.
Yeah, I designed stuff for you. You just
like I got the match cuts obviously, but okay, all right. But I'm just gonna
No, it's fine. It's good that you're not noticing it. It means that I'm doing my job. Like, if you're not noticing, it means I'm doing my job well.
I think that's the hallmark of a good film anyway, whether it's, a 2-minute film or, a 2-hour film, is that every time you watch that piece of work, if you can find something new, I think that is really awesome, and it shows just the craftsmanship and the thought that's put into that project.
Yeah.
All right. Don't mind me, I'm dancing. stop for 1 second just because
Yeah.
this part, like me, like
Oh God, that was stuck in our heads forever.
I would torture Emmy with this, and in fact, we got in while the time of this recording, like earlier today, we got into another film fest. We've gotten into again as of this recording, we've gotten into I think three film fests within 2 days, which is really awesome. But like I was gonna leave you a voice note and went we got in film fest.
Oh God. This was stuck in my head even before I got to set. Like I remember at one point we were all like, so one of us would go like me, and then like the rest of the crew would just start going like me. It's like it got stuck in our heads, like for real. It was kind of hilarious.
Yeah, it is definitely it's definitely an earworm. So, but it's really fun. So now it's just kind of a joke that we'll do. We'll be like,
I mean, that happens though, like, you know, like there's just some of your songs that because I listen to them a lot before like going to set, just like to get used to like the beats and get used to like where things are turning and where like I need to do things. So like the days or like the week leading up to the shoot, I'll listen to it a lot, and like there's a couple that have gotten stuck in my head, you know, me, you're fire, like that's still in there. Like it will never leave. Like it's just there's some stuff that just like will always be in my head. And I think it's a good thing.
Well, I think that is a good thing. And I was gonna say the other thing about Emmy with her editing skills, the great thing about Emilia is that she's also a cellist and a musician herself. And so whenever she edits, she really does have a sense of the music, both because she is a trained musician and also because she does her prep work and listens to the song. So I think that's really evident in your editing process and your you know your selects of like which footage and which shots we're using. Definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Speaking of editing, want to guess how many cuts are in this music video?
Okay, wait. More or less than the Iwan remix?
Less.
200.
Less of that.
190.
156, I believe.
Oh, I was going to say 150 was my next guess.
I believe it's around 150, yeah. So, but yeah, it's a lot of cuts for 3 minutes.
But Iwan remix was like what, 40 or something?
240, 250, something like that. Yeah.
That's great.
It's a lot. Iwan remix is like, it's crazy amount of cuts I have in there. Like you look at the timeline and it's just like insane.
All right. It's like, this is a part where I'm like, oh man, I feel bad. You know what I mean? You're like,
no, that's good. I mean, cause like I actually really like these. I mean, they're harder to do. I'm not going to say that they don't, especially because this was edited in like a week.
Oh yeah, this one had a really short turnaround.
But on the same time, I'm like, you know, I think all that fine cutting is, I really like it. You know, sometimes like it gives, for this one in particular and for Iwan Remix, like you have this like really high octane dynamic song. So yeah, for me, like having a high octane dynamic edit like that matches that energy, and works well for it. So I think I don't apologize. I did that to myself. So
we're both gluttons for punishment. So
yeah. And one thing before I know we've been on this show forever, but it's a good frame to talk about also. We also have a UV light on here for you. So
yeah, we got makeup on this. With the lipstick, and that we've had the triangle on the other shots as well, but this one we put Ashley put blue, our makeup artist put blue UV makeup over top of it. So we had a UV light, and I'm like, oh my god, the one side of my face is gonna be like really tanned and like damaged.
Yeah. No, we were being safe with that UV light.
They were. I'm just being funny.
But, yeah.
All right, let's keep rolling. Me, a meme.
say about the look of this film, just because like that sequence is actually my favorite sequence. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah, I just really like that bit of edit. But I think um, I also did something really unusual for this film because in terms of just the technical stuff,
Okay.
I usually shoot at an f4. Like I'm very religious about my f4. Like talk to
Tell
any of my
people, tell people
Oh, sorry. That is my shooting stop. So like it's the aperture of how much light
how
I
much
let
light
like
being put in. Like that's
yeah,
really
and that
about
affects
it.
affects the depth of field. It affects meaning what's in focus in the camera. Um and I'm very religious about my f4. Talk to any of my gaffers. They like whenever I shoot below it, it gets or like more open and they're like, I mean, what what's going on?
Gaffer,
But
and Gaffer is the person in charge of lighting. So that's
yes.
Aaron usually for our shoots that we've mentioned.
Yeah. Sorry. I forget people
No,
are
you're
not
good.
taking.
You're good. I just want to like, I'm sure the people out there watching this, I'm sure they know, but I always like, just
No, that's good. But anyway, yeah, so for these, I actually decided to shoot it at 2, which is the most wide open these lenses will go.
Hmm.
And it's because so that affected my depth of field. So I had a really small depth of field and like pulling focus was like a whole challenge. But it has has a little bit of a different look than the other stuff we've done because of that because I think I only done an f2.8 on I think Minefield at some point. But yeah, so that was different. But the reason I did it is because again, shout out to B Cine. They have a new really cool like lens projection room, and they offered to project the lenses. I used for anyone who's like a tech nerd or a cinematography nerd. I shot these on the Blackwing sevens, and I believe they're the T-tuned. I think so. I think they're T-tuned. And I know I got these because they have a very specific characteristics and aberrations. And like I did some tests on them. I liked the flares, I liked the veiling, and I wanted those imperfections in the music video. But then I had them projected, and like I saw that the aberrations were really present when you shot at the edge, what we call the edge of the lens. So at like at 2. So I'm really glad I was able to project the lenses and make that aesthetic choice, but it is very unusual for me to do that. And I did that specifically because I wanted to bring out those characteristics of the lenses for this music video, which give it that really distinct look.
Okay, cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. See, I'm learning
Technical stuff.
too. No, I'm learning things too about what you've done on this because, like, obviously,
Mhm.
when we're on set, Emmy and I have our specific functions and we're very laser focused, and obviously we'll talk to one another and things like that. But as
Mhm.
far as I think the depth of what we're doing is very much, sometimes I think, we gloss over that because we're having
Mhm.
to communicate but also be responsible for our part of the production, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Well, I learned something new.
Mhm.
All right, let's finish this guy out. By the way, I have to say also, um, I think my favorite part of this music video is, well, one of them is the gloves.
Oh, yeah, the gloves are fun.
The gloves
They're
are
really
awesome, and Emmy did a good job highlighting those, and I just like that whole outfit that I have on for that. But anyway, just want to say that.
I want all your outfits. Like I agree with all the comments that you've got on these music videos. I'm like, yeah, everyone's like, where'd you get the outfits? I want your outfits. And I'm like, I want her outfits.
I want them too. I
Yeah.
I can wear them like out. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe I'll find the right thing and I'll wear them out. Whatever. Just go to New York. You can wear anything.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. You know what I love about this too is that those ear climbers, so I think I've mentioned this before to them, Emmy, but
Mhm.
I don't have pierced ears. I never have. I wasn't allowed, like my parents weren't strict, but they were strict about that.
Mhm.
I wasn't allowed to until I was 16, and by that time I was like, yeah, I'm good. And
Mm.
those ear climbers I also wore in the music video for I Want It Now and
Yep.
the I Want It Now remix. And what I
Mm.
like about it, I don't know if you've noticed it, but they kind of look like almost like elf ears in a way too. Did you know?
Yeah, they do.
Which I like
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's like a weird thing. So like it's like a I don't know, it kind of adds the kind of I don't know, just the uniqueness of that song and
Mhm.
that track. So anyway,
Yeah.
thank you guys for being here with me through the end of this series behind the music video. It's been awesome to do this, and we'll definitely do more. Emmy, thank you as always for lending your artistry and for
Yeah.
giving everybody here, including me, some awesome behind the scenes stories and just a breakdown of what we did. So thank you. Stay tuned. We
Yeah.
have some really awesome music videos coming out this year as well. Thanks for your
Yep.
support. And make sure to follow Emilia. I'll put her socials in here as well. So thank you again, and take care of yourselves. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.